Yeah, y'all gonna stop coming in my live talking about this Victor dude, bro. We hooping this year. Y'all gonna see.
Alright team, today we're going to be looking at the Atlanta Hawks pick that we received from the DeJounte Murray trade, specifically the one in 2025. Shout out to July for leaving this comment. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up on the screen. July said we need a video covering the Jalen Johnson injury or the Atlanta Hawks situation because, as you know, their pick was projected to be pretty mid, but as of recent, it is projecting to be a top pick and it might be one of our most valuable assets. So if y'all have any ideas like July, go ahead and leave them down below in the comment section and I'll be sure to make a video over it. But before we do any of that, I just want to say, what is this? So I know we're a Spurs channel and we don't really get into anything that is outside of the Spurs, but this trade was so insane that we have to just talk about it, even if it's for 30 seconds. When Shams tweeted it, I thought he was for sure hacked. I was like, this is gonna be deleted. Like, there's no way the Dallas Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic. But it turns out this is real. Anthony Davis is going to the Mavericks and Luka is going to the Lakers. Like, what is this? Why the Mavericks did this? I believe it was because they didn't think that Luka is taking his body and health seriously, kind of similar to a Zion situation, but not as extreme. He hasn't really been injury prone besides for this season. He's played a majority of his career, and so I don't know why you trade Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, who in my opinion has more question marks around him regarding his health compared to Luka Doncic, who is 25 and probably going to have a crazy peak. The Mavericks just had me shook with this trade, and so I had to give it a little bit of time on the channel, and let me know y'all's guys' thoughts, because this was one of the most unexpected trades in NBA history. But getting back on topic, as July said, the Jalen Johnson injury is a huge part of the Atlanta Hawks draft projection. In the beginning of the season, the Hawks were looking like a pretty good team. I think they were at like 6th seed at one point, and they made it pretty deep into the in-season tournament. Jalen Johnson was a big part in this. Now, I am not celebrating Jalen Johnson's injury at all. That is not what I'm doing. To be quite honest, I'm actually pretty heartbroken for Jalen Johnson because he was having a career year, averaging 18.9, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. He's a huge part of this Atlanta Hawks team, and he's probably one of the favorites for the most improved player. The jump he's taken this season is crucial to the Hawks' success, so him going down is the obvious hit for the Hawks, but I am wishing him well, and hopefully he can have a healthy season next year. But Bleacher Report posted Jalen Johnson will miss the remainder of the season with a torn labrum in his left shoulder. But this injury is directly impacting the Hawks. As you can see, the Atlanta Hawks are 2-8 in their last 10 games. They have been on a downward skid. They haven't been playing their best basketball. I tuned into this Rockets game, and although the score isn't bad, they caught up at the end. I was watching the game and the Atlanta Hawks were playing very bad basketball. And even for me being a Spurs fan, I know that the Spurs can have some rough stretches, but watching this Atlanta Hawks game, I'm telling you right now, it was bad. But that's not really the thing I want to talk about. What I want to talk about here is if you look at these two games, I don't know if Jalen Johnson was playing these. Okay, so this is actually the game Jalen Johnson got hurt because he played 11 minutes. They ended up losing by 3, but they did not only lose once to the Raptors, they lost twice. If you're losing twice to the Raptors, who are a tanking team, that's not a good look. The Toronto Raptors are 15-33 this season and 13th in the Eastern Conference, which is a weak conference. It's pretty obvious they're tanking. If we could get Jakob Poeltl, totally not related to this video, but I would like Jakob Poeltl back. Taking a look at their offensive rating, they have the 3rd worst offensive rating within the last 10 games. So they have just been playing pretty bad basketball, shooting 29% from 3-point range. You don't have any other team shooting as bad as them except Orlando Magic, which they are known for not having shooting. So this has been a pretty rough stretch for them, and I think the Hawks is trending downwards as a team. Taking a look at their upcoming games, they have Detroit, they play the Spurs, the Bucks. The only real games I can see them winning is against Washington because you don't want to be that team. Even Miami without the Heat should be able to take the Atlanta Hawks with them not having Jalen Johnson. The Sixers might lose, Charlotte. So they have a pretty rough upcoming schedule. I don't see them winning many games. Obviously, they still have Trae Young. He might explode and get them a win just by himself. That's how good he is. But a majority of these games are going to be losses. So this is why July was saying, should we hang on to this draft pick? In my personal opinion, you got to do everything you can to hang on to this draft pick. I don't know if they are trading for De'Aaron Fox. I don't know what that draft package is going to look like, but I believe the Spurs think very highly of their Atlanta Hawks picks, and they are some of the best assets that they currently have. So if I was in the Spurs position, I'm not trading this pick at all. So taking a look at the draft odds, you see Atlanta is 10 right here. If they could get right here in front of Chicago, that would be huge for the Spurs, because if Chicago is down here in the 10th spot, they have a 20% chance of landing this 11th pick, which it would go to the San Antonio Spurs. If Chicago gets a top 10 pick, it goes back to them, but I believe that they would get 2 more shots at it, top 8 protected in the next 2 years. But even if everything does just stay like this, you still have a 5% chance at the number 1 pick, which is not a lot. It's probably not gonna happen, but there's always a chance. There's always a team that jumps up, and there's always some teams that fall down. So in my personal opinion, it would be in the Spurs' best interest to keep these Atlanta Hawks picks. And we're gonna end this video off with doing a little NBA draft lottery simulator. Philadelphia needs to get their money up, because I do not want OKC to get another top 10 pick. And as a matter of fact, looking at these records right here, if Atlanta could keep on losing, they're not far off from dropping all the way to like 6 or 7. If Philadelphia could start to heat up, maybe Portland could get a couple wins, and Atlanta just doesn't win for the next like 10 more games or something, we could easily see them move all the way up here. As you can see, they've lost their last 8 in a row. But with that being said, y'all leave y'all's thoughts on this draft pick, and let's go ahead and do some little spins. For the first one, okay, and they have the Spurs staying right here. Pretty much the same thing, but I'm not gonna stop until we get something we like. So something like this would be ideal. This is why you hang on to this pick. Atlanta could jump up. Now this is not likely. It took me about 3 or 4 spins just to get this, but this is why you would want to keep this pick. So y'all leave y'all's thoughts down below in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like as always, subscribe, and until then, I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.